Okay, so I'm back, guys. I'm gonna tell you how it is dating her. You know, she's a beautiful woman. She's very loving, caring, sensual. She's a Cancer. I'm a Taurus. We're a great match. She's just a touch older than me, and we have to go to bed at like 8:30. We're often in times in bed before the children are. Which I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But sometimes she hits me and she yells at me, and it's just she's a good woman.
Welcome on back, ladies. It's your favorite around the way girl, naturally Candace. And as promised, this is part 2 of my chit chat, get ready with me, my personal love story. Today is Valentine's Day, so I want to say happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Whether you're in a relationship or you're single, happy Valentine's Day to you, your family, your children, to everyone. So let's get into my love story. I'm like a kid. I cannot wait to gush over this. But I actually jumped into AJ's DMs. We started talking October 16th of 2017. I will insert the screenshot of how I jumped in his DMs, and it just went from there. He was actually out of town. He works about 3 hours from where we live at, and he was out of town working, so sorry, it's him. So he was out of town working, and we started talking that Monday, and we continued talking all of that Monday night, Tuesday morning, Tuesday night, Wednesday, like some high school shit, like couldn't stop talking and texting each other. Well, not texting, but couldn't stop like Instagram messaging each other. So Thursday rolls around and I'm like, okay, he's been very consistent. And I know it's like only been 4 days, but you wouldn't believe the dating world, how inconsistent people are. So he had been very consistent, and I really liked the vibe that he was giving, and I really enjoyed talking to him. So I was like, hey, I'm working today. I work at this local restaurant. I was like, why don't you come by and see me? And you guys might be thinking it's crazy, like, you invited him to your job? It's a public place. I really don't know this nigga. In case he get out of line, management, he's out of here. Like, so my job is a public place, so I invited him to come and visit me at work. So of course, all day I was like super nervous. I was like, oh my God, like, is he gonna come? Is he not gonna come? Is he gonna be the person on the pictures? Like, so I was really nervous. So I seen him when he walked into my job, and I was kind of like walking up to him. And when I seen him, I was like, yeah, look at this snack. Oh my God, like, he was so cute. Like, he was tall, and he had a pretty smile, and he was clean, and he was dressed nice, and I was like, yes. So I walk up to him and I'm like, oh, hey AJ, it's so nice to meet you. And he like embraces me with this hug, and it's kind of like, okay. So he sits down at the bar, and we are kind of just like staring at each other. Like, he checking me out, I'm kind of checking him out. We kind of like doing it indirectly. And I see him, he's like staring at me, and I'm like, why are you looking at me like that? You know, because he's like really looking at me, and it's a different kind of look. It's like, nobody had looked at me that way before, so it was kind of weird and awkward to me. I was kind of like, why are you looking at me like that? And I think he was like something to the effect, because he like what he looking at, or he like what he see. I was like, yeah, the feeling's mutual. But so after we have our stare down, we go over to a bar that's by my job, and we sit and we have a drink and we talk. And I just immediately, the one thing that got me was how captivating his energy was. It was like very refreshing. It was very clear and very pure, and it was like something that I hadn't experienced before. It was just like, do I know you? Like, do we date before? Like, the feeling, like the energy between us was just like out of this world. I was like so shocked. Like, we hit it off so well, just talking about everything. Just like, before you know it, hours had went by, and we were talking about like dating, of course, and relationships and marriage. And he asked me, he was like, would you ever elope? And I'm thinking, of course, back to my past, like, the people I done dated, hell no, I would never elope. Like, people is crazy. They lie. They intent ain't good. Like, I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, I'm not that kind of impulsive, sporadic person to just be like, all right, I'm a elope. And I was like, would you ever elope? And he was like, yeah, if I met the right person. And he kind of like just, you know, hit me with that look again. And I was like, oh, okay. So that date ended, and we ended up, you know, hugging, going our separate ways. And of course, he texted me. He was like, I have to see you again. So we started like dating, like going on casual dates. We would go to dinner, we would go hang out, go bar hopping, just, you know, spending quality time, really getting to know each other, just going with the flow.
Keep
like,
walking like
this
that.
is
Show 'em that
really
little
nice.
booties, man.
Like,
Niggas
I
love
look forward
little
to going
booties
on
too,
dates.
baby.
Like, I can't wait to see what AJ has planned for date night tonight. And I mean, we were going on dates like 4 or 5 nights a week. Like, so we were really like clicking up and really enjoying each other. So we were like really enjoying each other. So I had a show coming up in Miami, a Quint Essentials tour that was in Miami. And so I invited AJ to join me for the tour, to join me for the show. I was gonna be in Miami the weekend. I would have like a lot of free time. So I was like, let's take a little vacation. Let's go down south. I got this show, you know, come hang out. So he ends up coming with me. We drive down to Miami. We have a great time on the car ride. We reminiscing, like throwback jams. We're just laughing and enjoying each other. And, you know, it was fun. So usually when I have a hair show, I am very OCD. My anxiety is like on 100. I have to prepare for the show, get samples together, get my hair together, record and blog. And, you know, it's just, because of the type of person that I am, I like things to be a certain way. I like it organized. I like, you know, a schedule. So I was kind of on 10 when we got there, because I wanted to make sure that everything was going to go nice, where the venue was, what I was going to be doing. And the biggest thing that I noticed that really stuck out to me, the first huge thing besides his energy, was how attentive and caring he was when it came to me and my job, my show, like my goals and my dreams and stuff. And it was just like amazing to see how much he cared about helping me and making things easier for me, from helping to set my stuff up, to getting my breakfast in the morning, to ironing my clothes, to recording and doing candid moments, driving me to the show so I could record and take selfies and promote, and helping me set up the booth and giving me input on angles and what I thought and what he thought and how it would look, and recording the entire event and getting candid moments and anything that I needed. You need this, you need that, I'll grab it. You want to do this, you want to do that, I'll do that. It's okay, I got it, I can do that while you're doing that. It was just really almost not almost, but it was very heartwarming to see how dedicated he was to helping me have my vision and dream come to life. especially for that show. And you know, every show I have a dream and an envision of how I want it to go, how I want to look, how I want it to be presented. And it was amazing to me how invested and how much he wanted to help me achieve that goal and that dream of how I wanted that show to be. It was crazy to me. Like, I really at that point started like thinking like, why are you so invested? Like, why do you care so much? Like, I really started, you know, letting my triggers and my insecurities, like, what's up with you? Like, why you want to do all of this stuff for me? Like, and I started to ask him, I started to be a little standoffish, and I asked him, and he was like, I believe in you. He was like, I see great things when I look at you. He was like, I want you to achieve all your goals and your dreams. He was like, I want to see you be great. And I was kind of like, wow, like, that is super sweet. And that is, you know, amazing. Like, I can't believe like you feel that way about me. Like, you feel that when you look at me, like you see greatness when you look at me. Like, that made me feel so amazing. Like, wow, like, I like you. I kind of like where this is going. Like, that's real dope. That was, you know, something that I never had before. I never had anybody that really supported and motivated me. And it was nice to feel that for the first time. And it was nice to hear somebody say that to me for the first time, that they really believed in me and they supported anything that I wanted to do. And it was like, okay. Excuse the blower. If you guys can hear, they're cutting grass. It's grass cutting day in my neighborhood. But after we came back from Miami, we continued to date. We continued, you know, to hang out. And the next biggest thing that really spoke to my heart was, I have boys. Everybody knows I have a set of twins, and AJ has 2 boys as well. He has joint custody with the mother of his children. So he texts me one day and he's like, hey, I really want to see you this weekend. He was like, but you know, I have the boys on the weekend. He was like, would you be interested in doing, you know, kind of like family date night, like play dates, so the boys could hang out and do something and we could still hang out and do something? And I was like, so you want my kids to hang out with your kids and we all kind of hang out together? Okay. I was literally smitten. Like, where did this guy come from? A guy that is stable and is direct and positive with his intent. He has been presenting himself to me every day as the same person. If not, he keeps getting better every day. He means what he says. He says what he means. He's consistent with me. And now he wants to hang out with me and my children. He trusts me enough to have me around his children, and he feels that he's trustworthy enough to be around my children. I was smitten. I had never had a guy, well, I really didn't date anybody with kids before him. I did that situationship, but it was a whole disaster, whatever. So this was new to me. Like, okay, we're gonna have play dates. And so we started having dates and letting our kids hang out together, and they went to Fun Spot and some other places. And while they're hanging out, we're still vibing, and I get to see him interact with his children. I get to see, you know, what kind of dad he is. Like, I get to see how he interacts with my children, like how they interact with him, if they get good energy off of him. So we start doing play dates and we're hanging out, and our children get along so well together. His children are so respectful and so sweet, and it's just like, wow, this is great. This is amazing. Like, we can do play dates. Like, this is cool. We could actually, you know, do this. So Thanksgiving rolls around and AJ is going to visit his brother in Utah for Thanksgiving. He's going to be gone for about a week or so. So he comes to see me before his flight the next day. He comes to see me that night, and I walk him out to his car and he's looking at me. He's looking at me how he looked at me the first day and every day after, but this time it's a really intense stare. Like, I can't even describe the way that he looks at me. Like, he looks at me like I am gold, like I am magical, like I am everything. Everything in his eyes, like it just makes me feel so like valued and appreciated and wanted. And I know that's crazy sounding, like how you get all of that from a look, but just the way that he looks at me, like it is crazy. But this night the look was more passionate, more intense. And we hug and we kiss, and I'm like, you know, saying our goodbyes, and he looks at me dead in my face and he's like, I'm going to marry you. And I start smiling and I'm like, okay, you know, you're gonna marry me. And he was like, he got very serious. He was like, no, seriously, I'm going to marry you. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, prove it. Like, you gonna marry me? We'll see. Okay. So, you know, we kiss, we hug, he leaves, and I call all my homegirls, all my best friends, and I'm like, I think AJ is getting ready to tell me he loves me. I was like, I could just feel it, the way he looks at me, the way I'm feeling. I just feel it. Like, I was like, I just feel it. I was like, this man is about to be my husband. I was like, I've never felt so sure and so safe with anybody. And I'm like, the feeling that he was giving me and the feeling that he gives me is just, it's almost like an out of body experience. And he texted me while he was in Utah and he was asking me something and we were talking about something, and he was like, you love me, don't you? And I was like, yeah, I do love you. And you know, it kind of went from there. He was, you know, he loves me, I love him too. And he was like, do you think this is crazy that it's been like a month or so and we are a month and a half? And he's like, we are so like in tune and in sync and everything is just flowing so right. He was like, do you think that we're crazy? And I'm like, I don't think that I'm crazy. Like, the feelings that I'm feeling and the things that you make me feel, I don't think that I'm crazy. Like, this is crazy how great we are together, the energy between us. Like, this is crazy, this is great. I never thought that I would experience this with anybody. It kind of is crazy, but it's not crazy. Like, it's crazy good. Like, I am so happy, I'm so smitten. Like, I'm just like, oh, okay. AJ comes back from Utah and he has to work the following week. So he gets back, and I think he gets back like a Monday. He left for a week, whatever. So that Sunday he leaves to go down south and he rides a motorcycle. So this particular time he was taking his motorcycle down south. So he stops on the side of the road and he calls me. And of course I'm thinking, like, I know he didn't make it down south already. It's a 3-hour drive. I'm like, why is he calling me? So he calls me and he's like, hey, he was like, let's get married. He was like, let's elope. He was like, will you marry me? Will you elope with me? He was like, I love you. He was like, I want to do this with you. He was like, I've never been more serious and more sure about any woman in my life. He was like, I just feel completed with you. He was like, do you want to elope? And I'm like, yes, I will marry you. Yes, we can elope. And he was like, I'm serious. He was like, I'm not playing. And I'm like, I'm not playing either. Like, I'm serious. Like, I could see myself being with you forever. Like, before dating other people, it was kind of like, I guess I could kind of do this. Like, it's all right. But with AJ, it was more so, I want to do this with you. I look forward to doing this with you. I want to be with you. Like, this does not feel like a relationship. It does not feel like a chore, like, oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got to go on a date. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like my life. Sorry, my camera had died, so I had to charge it, but it didn't feel like a task or a burden. It felt so very right. It felt like my life, like this is who I was meant to be with. He understands me. He gets me. He doesn't deal with, but he understands my moodiness. He understands my needy and clingy behavior. He understands how some of the things in my past have had me guarded about things in my present. It just felt like, no doubt, like, yeah, we're gonna get married. Like, I love you and I wouldn't want to do this with anybody else but you. I feel fortunate and blessed to be in this situation, to have somebody like you. Yes, we are going to get married. We are going to elope. So we eloped on December 11th, 2017. We got married at the courthouse. Our family didn't know. Most of our best friends didn't know. It was a decision that me and AJ made together as two people regarding our lives, that we were going to join in a union and a commitment, and it was going to be just about us. And that's exactly what it was when we got married. It was very special. It was very sacred. It was the most wonderful thing that I've ever experienced or done in my life. And there was never 1 ounce of doubt or regret before we eloped, when we eloped, after we eloped. Still to this day, there is no doubt and no regret about getting married and eloping. So we started talking October 16th and we eloped December 11th. So you can do the math on that. As I'm sure many of you are thinking, just like some of my friends and my family, you guys are absolutely crazy. Like, you don't even know each other. You rushed into it. This is too fast. This isn't how it's supposed to be done. This isn't right. Says who? Says who? There are people that date for 7 years and end up getting married and get a divorce the next year. There are people that date for 10 years and never get married. There are people that date for 2 years and get married. There is no rule book. There is no rule book or handbook on do's and don'ts, or how it's supposed to be done and how it shouldn't be done. And there are people that have met, fell in love, and got married in 30 days and have lived together happy for 30, 40, 50 years of marriage. So that should tell you that it just depends on you and the other person. It depends on the relationship. Some things will fall apart, some things will fail. That's just life. Like, that really is just life. But there is no right or wrong way to fall in love. There is no handbook to marriage, or when you should do it or when you shouldn't. For some people, there is. Oh, you should date for this long, then get engaged, and then get married. That's how you really know if you know a person. And I'm the opposite. I change every day. I try to be a better person every day, and so does AJ, and he accepts that about me and I accept that about him. And I just really feel like you never really know a person. People change all the time. You could date somebody for 10 years and wake up one day and they're a totally different person. But I believe that love is not only just a feeling, it is a commitment. It is a choice to stay there in love and to be in love and to continue to be happy through the good times and the bad times. And I love AJ, and I look forward to our bad times. I look forward to learning more about him as a man, as a husband, as a father. I am ecstatic about our life together. And I know people are still going to think that I'm crazy, and people are going to be like, they're going to be divorced, this, and that. And if we are, which we aren't, that'll be my business. Everybody is going to have something to say. Your friends, your family. A lot of people love to put their opinions and how they feel on your life onto you. And a lot of times it shapes the way that you think and the decisions that you make in life. And I got to a point as a 32-year-old woman that I was going to do something that was best for me and my children. I wasn't going to live my life for my friends and my family or what they thought or it was too soon. I made the best decision for me. And I am happy. I am in love. I am a wife. I am a wife. I am a mother. I am a stepmother. And I am overjoyed with how things have been in my life since I met AJ. I am just, I can't even describe it. I just can't. I am Mrs. Right, and I have a man that loves me and my family and my children, that worships me and supports me and motivates me and wants to see me and him and us build a solid foundation and be great together. And I just will forever be thankful for this. So I did, and that is my love story. But to my family and friends, thank you guys so much for being supportive and having positive, kind words. Even if you didn't agree, just thank you for being there for me and AJ as just that, our family and friends. Most importantly, to my husband, to AJ, I am overjoyed with our life together. I have no doubts, no fears when it comes to you and loving you and being with you and everything that we have together. Most importantly, I want to thank you for showing me the true definition of unconditional love. I want to thank you for making me feel like I am worthy. I deserve to be loved in such a way. I want to thank you for being patient with me and taking the time to really want to know me and know me as a person, to be so invested in me. It's just, I could almost cry. Like, I feel like I'm about to cry. But thank you also for loving me and my children and my family unconditionally. We are all one family. We are all joined and forever going to be together. Just thank you for trusting me, picking me, choosing me. Thank you for everything. This is the most special Valentine's Day that I have ever had. I am receiving love from my husband, a man that is loyal to me. I am truly being treated like a queen. Like, oh my God, oh my God. But that is my love story. I was, burned a lot. I had a lot of shitty relationships, and I stayed optimistic, and I was able to find love and find someone who wanted me, nothing more, nothing less, who spoke to me, spoke to my soul, who touched me in ways that I've never been touched. It is just amazing. And I want you guys, if you don't have love, or if you're single, or if you're in a shitty relationship, just always remember to not settle. Your happiness is the most important thing to you. It's your happiness, and you don't want to look up and be 45 and miserable or alone and just, stuck in something. Don't settle and stay optimistic, because love is literally out there for everybody. And I am a true survivor. This is my testimony. I'm telling y'all, it will come to you. And when it comes, you will know it won't be any doubts or any questions or any fear, anything. It will be It will be yours and you will know it. Oh, so emotional. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this chit chat, get ready with me, my personal love story. This is very true. I am now a married woman. I got a little band on because I can't wear a rock to work. We got matching tattoos too. That's a whole nother story. But I am a married woman. This is my first Valentine's Day as a married woman. And I just wanted to share this with you guys, especially if you need a little motivation in the dating field. Keep your blinders up, stay focused, and don't settle. But if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want me to do more chit chat, get ready with me, I will definitely be doing those. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. I also got another little something to tell y'all. Me and AJ are going to be blogging. We are going to start a blog about the rights, do it right, about us and our blended family being married for the first year, trials and tribulations. Of course, I'm going to share that with you guys because I know some of you are waiting to see this blow up in my face so you can say, I told you so, you crazy, shouldn't have got married that fast. Just kidding. But we are going to be blogging, so stay tuned to that. Until next time, queens, thank you guys again so much for watching. Until next time, queen, be great.